Hey, how you doing? Gabi here from Rage Studios, and today I'm gonna be talking all about the GIAI filters to achieve cinematic footage. The way that movies have this particular look is because they use very expensive equipment like cinema cameras and also anamorphic lenses that are also not just expensive, but they're as well very heavy and they take a lot of space in your bag. I mean, most people that shoot movies, they don't carry a bag, they carry like a whole truck of gear. But there is another way, a cheaper way that you can achieve a very similar effect. It's not gonna be exactly the same, but at least it's gonna have that kind of like cinematic look, and it's gonna kind of like up your production value. For example, here, this is a GIAI Streak Blue. And what that does is emulate the same lens flare effects that you see in some of these movies that they use anamorphic lenses. The way it works is just very simple. You can put it on the front of your lens, and if your lens have a different size, you can also use a step down or a step up adapter rings. And as you can see, the front of the filter can rotate, so you can have the direction of those lens flares on whichever direction that you want. You can also have those lens flares moving as you're shooting. Another cool filter from the same company is the star filter. This one, when you shoot directly into a strong source of light, well, it's gonna convert that light into stars. Now, it comes with different amount of, let's say, stars, peaks. I'm not sure how to call it, but basically I have the minimum, which is 4, but there are also 8 and 16. I like it 4 because it's kind of like more simple, and yet again the effects are very spectacular, and there is no other way to achieve this with software. You have to have some of these lenses. And yet again, same as the Streak Blue, you can rotate the front of the filter and have those stars moving in the direction that you want. Another way that movies tend to look very different from our homemade videos or some of the videos that you might shoot with your DSLR or camcorders is because cinema cameras have a particular design to have the highlights and those shadows kind of like mirror in the middle. That's called dynamic range. Basically makes it so the shadows are not too dark and the highlights are not too bright. Modern digital SLRs tend to don't have such a great dynamic range as cinema cameras, and basically it looks a little bit too sharp because it's digital sharpness, and also because the highlights tend to be too bright on some occasions. And that's when we might be using something like this. This is a black mist filter, and it's gonna make the highlights really soft and nice. And basically the whole footage take a little bit a step back when it comes to digital sharpness. It's also really good to soften the skin, and you can here see some differences between how it looks without the filter and with the filter. Something that I noticed pretty much with all the filters except the one I'm going to be talking about next is that they work their best when there is a big difference between the shadows and the highlights, and that's usually happen at night. Even so, it could happen during the day, and you know, the idea is to get the style that you want on your videos. Now, the last but not least, and this is probably my favorite filter from this company, and this is the Black Mist plus BND, or should I say BND plus Black Mist. So these have a neutral density filter that goes from 1.5 stop up to 5 stops, and what I really like about it is that it's really slim. You can see in comparison with something like my black and white BND filter, which is supposed to be the best in the world. Of course, that is a lot bigger and it is a little bit better, but honestly, this is not bad at all. Actually, it's one of the best that I tested for the price. So when we compare these to other BND filters at about the same price, well, you see that this is maybe one of the best out there. And on top of that, also have a black mist in front, so it's like 2-in-1, and I really like it. I shot an entire video. Unlikely, the video that I shot did not have this kind of like difference between shadows and highlights. It was like a very cloudy day, we shot mostly outdoors, and as a matter of fact, I did not use my camera. I actually used my iPhone 14 Pro, so I adapted this to an iPhone 14 Pro, and even so, yeah, the lighting conditions were not on a situation in which something like this would have been really good. It still looks kind of like a little bit better, like it looks softer, my skin looks better, and also I have the ability to use a BND, which means I can have the right shutter speed on my camera, so I get this motion blur as I'm riding the bicycle. If you want to buy any of these filters, there are links in the description down below to the website of GIAI. I do not have affiliate, and just kindly recommending these lenses because I found it to be really good at a very good price, and I like the fact that they're very slim. Now, before I sign out, I just want to give you a few advices. One is, if you're going to use the Streak or the Star filters, try not to use a macro lens. Like I tested with a certified f1.8 RF lens from Canon, and that is like 1:2 macro or 2:1. I forgot how it's called, but basically it has some macro capabilities, and when the lens goes into macro, you actually see the lines. Like, you don't see the effect, you actually see the lines on the footage, and the same happens with the Star. So yeah, avoid going into macro or filming something that is really close to your camera. Also, the strict blue sometimes could be a little bit overwhelming. So yeah, it's something that you need to use. You will know when to use it and when not to use it. Don't overuse it. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you wanna learn more about filters, I have done filters tutorials not too long ago. You can click here to go watch it now. And if you wanna see more review of lenses and filters, click somewhere over there. And that's it for this video. I'll catch you on the next one, and adios amigos.